Hello everyone and welcome to Weekend Rental, episode 85. We are your gaming and geek culture podcast. My name is Ryan. As always, I'm joined by Andy.
Nate.
And we're not sure yet. We might see Nate. We know he's occupied, so we're just going to continue on. He might jump in. We'll see. As of this recording, it is October 21st. This thing will be coming out the 30th, so you might be getting around to it right around Halloween. So we'll be sure to touch on some... spooky video game memories here down the road. But one piece of news I wanted to jump right into. And before we do that, let's talk a little bit about where you can find our podcast other than weekendpodcast.com. You can find our content and a lot of other great content, articles, podcasts, more over at geekade.com. What's your geek? I wanted to touch on a movie. Andy and I have been talking about this a little bit outside of the podcast. Adam Sandler released his strangely titled Hubie Halloween, right in time for the holiday on Netflix. It's kind of old school Sandler. It's a movie that they clearly made with the intention of it being as stupid as possible, with the most egregious product placement possible, and of course, all of Adam Sandler's friends are on the payroll, as you would expect. And it's one of those Adam Sandler movies where he's got a dumb voice for no reason, like Waterboy or Little Nicky or something like that. And I don't know. I checked it out expecting it to be like passable, and I found myself just kind of like leaning into the stupidity with them, and I really enjoyed myself. It's a pretty good watch.
Yeah, I was really surprised when you said that. I thought for sure it would just be like, oh, another one, shitty one. But yeah, I'm kind of jazzed to go check it out now.
Yeah, I think it might be my favorite thing that he's done exclusively with his Netflix deal. I didn't mind The Ridiculous Six. I mean, it was really, really stupid, but this is stupid on a whole other level of like, they just wanted to make a real bad movie and they did. And I don't know. It's good stuff. Especially like, because the humor and like the language and everything is like so mildly PG-13, like you're able to watch it with kids who are, between 6 and 10, and it's still not like this horribly scarring thing. It's just, I don't know, it's a good, stupid family film. And for whatever reason, there are a bunch of kids in this movie. Well, they're not kids anymore, but Disney Channel kids for some reason. Camp Kikiwaka crossover sort of stuff that I wasn't anticipating. So
really? Wow.
There's that. Yeah.
I wonder how these like actually get produced. Cause like, is it Sandler like really signing off on every aspect of it? Or is it like Netflix producers just creating scripts and be like, here you go?
Sure. I mean, after watching this, I have to imagine that Adam Sandler signed off on all of this.
Yeah.
And it was just completely his deal, and there was no QC at all. Is how it feels.
They shipped a tape to Netflix and be like, run it.
I think the Netflix deal with him was just like, all we need is 6 feature-length films. As long as they run over an hour and 20, we're good. And I think he just like nailed it on this one. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm not saying it's his best movie, but I am saying if you like stupid and you like Halloween, maybe just check it out. I think you're gonna appreciate it if you've watched his entire catalog. Maybe not so much otherwise, but yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I like that. Like when he starts trying to do more complicated things, like him being a spy, and like. Those type of movies, it just doesn't resonate. I don't think he can pull it off.
No, he doesn't really have the acting chops for that.
Yeah.
But the man understands dumb, and that's all you need in a movie like this.
Yeah.
So I see here looking at the topic list, we might as well jump right from Netflix to Hulu, because you've added something here that I think everyone's going to be excited about.
Yes, Animaniacs has put out a couple trailers now for their new show coming out next month. I think it's a month from now, actually. And I couldn't be more excited. It looks really good.
Yeah, the only trailer I've seen is that one with Spielberg and like the whole not Adam Sandler.
Jurassic Park
spoof.
Yep.
Like, man, they just nailed the humor and the tone. Like, it's just so good. And the fact that they've got the original voice actors back, Pinky and the Brain's going to be back.
Yep.
It's gonna be great, I think.
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited for them to just focus on those two, on
Right.
Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, because I don't know, Slappy the Squirrel and all those other like side characters were okay, but just to get them, if they're going to do a short run of this and just have them focus on these characters, that's perfect.
Dude, I want the pigeons back real bad.
Really, they were okay, but they were.
Do you think Bill Clinton will still play the sax? That's what I want to know.
No, the new trailer has Trump though as a like a Cyclops monster or something like that.
Okay.
And there's like mansplaining, and they like go into some really like topics that I don't think kids are really gonna understand. But I think that's kind of how the original was a little bit too. But
yeah, I feel like that was always kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the art style looks great. Like if you were ever going to bring back a show that could just be timeless, like Animaniacs is it. It's kind of like in the same vein as South Park. It's like all you have to do is set the parameters of like the ridiculousness of each character and drop them into whatever world you want. Because as long as they're staying on point with like current news and agendas, it's going to be comedy gold, you know?
Yep. Well, and plus they can just put them, they always like put them through time and like different situations and different famous people, and
yeah,
they could just do whatever with them. And, you know, cartoons don't like that don't really exist anymore.
It'll be funny to see who they leverage and make fun of as like celebrity cameos and stuff. Cause like I felt like when we were kids, they were like really leaning into stuff that you kind of almost didn't really know about, like pop culture icons. You know, there'd be like, you knew, but you didn't. You know, there'd be like your Chers and your Marilyn Monroe and like some of the Elvis stuff where it's like, man, this is so fringe. So
it was,
I'm curious what 30 years has done to where that's going to land. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I wonder. Cause they
got a lot of stuff to dig into. That's for sure.
They kind of referenced that, how long it's been. So they must be like woken up again or something like that, or
sure
they escaped again and it's been like 30 years or whatever.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you know like how many episodes they're doing?
It said 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, I think it's a good start. I can't imagine they've commissioned only 13. I'm guessing they're probably already talking about more.
You would think so.
I had to guess.
Yeah.
Seems like Hulu's a little more apt to like renew things than Netflix is. Netflix seems to just like, oh, a season? Nah, see ya. You know?
Yep. Yeah.
We threw money at that. It didn't work.
Yeah. You should check out the new trailer. It just starts off with them basically saying that they sold out and shows them taking a Hulu's check and like they're all dressed up in Hulu clothes.
I like it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's a good get for them though, I think. But at the same time, I wonder like, is it for us or is it for kids too?
It's for us.
Yeah.
In hopes that we'll show it to our kids is really what they're
Probably
going for, I think, you know. Because I didn't ever feel like little kids liked Animaniacs. It was always like, I'm probably too old to be watching this.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I kind of caught it like right at the like 6th, 7th grade, like was where I was like heavy into it, and it was like kind of becoming a teenager here, and I'm still watching this because it's funny, but also maybe I shouldn't be watching this. So,
yeah,
that was a classic show. So good.
I was like Pinky the Brain a little bit more, but I'm sure they'll.
I didn't like it when they had their own show. You know what I mean? Like I thought 30 minutes of Pinky and the Brain was too much. I liked it when Pinky and the Brain had their like little plug in between where it was like sandwiched in with like 6 to 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was like the right length.
Yeah, I like the show too, but once they added in the Tiny Toons girl as their owner, that was awful.
Yep. No, she's the worst.
Yeah.
What about Chicken Boo? You think Chicken Boo's coming back? I love Chicken Boo.
No. Oh, what was the mime guy? I like the mime guy.
Yeah, that's right. He was pretty good. So many stupid characters.
Forget what that segment is. Good idea, bad idea. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's good stuff. So we might as well just go into this. I don't even know how I caught this. I feel like the internet and society just flushed this from their collective memories. But did you realize they're doing a live action Monster Hunter movie?
Yeah, I saw that.
Starring the same chick who is in Resident Evil.
I wonder who's
Did you watch the trailer?
This. It's gotta
Yeah,
be
not her husband. Certainly. I didn't look. I'm sure it is. But like, I had no idea this was coming out. And then I watched the trailer. And I don't like, I love Monster Hunter. I love the lore, the myth, the world. I do not understand why they set it up in the way that they did. Like, you already have mythological monsters in a world that can be 100% fantasy. So why is it set up on the premise of the U.S. military gets sucked through a portal and then the U.S. military takes on monsters in Monster Hunter World? That didn't need to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's extra confusing for no reason.
Well, you just haven't played Monster Hunter long enough. Once you get to the top, that's where you get the military gear and the assault rifles and stuff like that to take down the Rathalos.
Do you think it's just like a Capcom thing where they're like, yeah, all those Resident Evil movies were so terrible, but we already made so much money off of them. Let's just use the same chick. Like, I feel like that's what they must have done.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's. I'm sure somebody along the lines, probably on the Resident Evil side, or that power duo made that pitch.
Yeah.
Like, well, we can't possibly make another Resident Evil movie, so what else you got?
Yeah, it's just so stupid because like everything that's cool about Monster Hunter is like the weapon crafting and like the cats. And,
did they show any of the?
No,
cats?
they didn't.
No,
That's what I don't understand.
Wow.
It's like, why did you have to introduce guns into this? Like, that's not it's not gonna make the movie any better.
No,
you've already like flushed out your game fan base. And then I don't think anyone who's a movie fan who doesn't know about the games is going to go flying F about this just because of Mila, whatever her last name's, like terrible run with those Resident Evil movies. Like those are some of the worst movies. I mean, the first one, fine. It was a fine zombie movie. The rest of that was just a train wreck. I just don't get it.
Well, they don't have a great track record of staying in line with what the video games are in that series either, but
that's true.
I don't know. The monsters look dead on, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, when that first Diablo popped out of the sand, you're like, oh yeah. Like I remember dying in that son of a bitch like 14 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rathalos at the end. Yeah,
I just really wanted to see the Calico as like cooking steaks for people and sharpening bone swords. Like that's what I want, man. Just give me a Calico movie, really. I don't care. It can just all be meows. I don't need to understand it. I'll just watch that for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was any hunting going on in that trailer at all.
No, I think this thing is destined to lose money.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see a way that this works. I was flabbergasted that it existed. And like, because prior to it coming out, had you heard about it at all? The trailer?
I mean, I've heard the same thing as like all these other things that are like, this game has a movie coming and this, and they never,
right.
Uncharted's had a movie coming out for what?
Or
a
Halo.
decade? Yeah.
Right. I didn't expect a trailer to drop in 2020 that looked this bad for a movie that I didn't actually think was coming out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But if it was one person or, those guys, they can make a game movie, I guess. Quick.
It's sad.
I want to see them do a Mega Man movie.
Would Mila still be Mega Man?
Yeah.
She'd just have like the suit on. That's probably actually what it would be.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like the Fifth Element suit, just blue.
Yeah. Well, that was like, okay, so that was the thing that I was like, where I was like, no, they didn't even try with this. Was right at the end of that Monster Hunter trailer was the big like Mila like just squaring off, like pulling out her blade or whatever, like big ugly enemy and just like charging at it. I was like, this is the same cinematic cut. I know it is from one of those Resident Evil movies because I've seen that. Like it was the same, like her charging at Nemesis or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like just why? Like you had a rich lore. Like you could have made something really cool. And instead you just went with every other action movie you could possibly crank out.
Yeah. I don't know if you could turn the gameplay of like Monster Hunter gameplay is epic at some points, but there's a lot of time that it's not.
Yeah. But you get it on the Hollywood thing though, where it's like you just built a really cool world, and then like you had these like 10-minute like couple really sweet segments. Like I think that kind of worked, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that you'd get the mass market appeal. People with guns and things go boom tends to sell tickets, I suppose. But
it's probably a budget thing too.
Yeah.
CGI cats are expensive. Let's just have Humvees.
If it had just like tied cats to strings, and, like the internet, like dancing them across the stage, be good. They probably watched Cats like 2019, like, oh no, we can't sell these calicos now. Like this is no one's gonna do this. It's a bummer though. I really wanted to like it. It just was not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I think that Uncharted movie actually is like shooting now though.
Yeah, but doesn't that have what's his name? Wahlberg is like the fat buddy guy.
I think he started out as cast as Nathan, and it's taken so long that he's like, well, now Wahlberg's getting up there in age. Let's cast him as the other guy.
I just like all I picture in my head is Wahlberg in a Hawaiian shirt sitting on the boat, and then he's like, "Yo, Nathan, yeah. So how do you mother for me?" And then like that's his line. And then they just leave the boat and go onto the island. Ugh. Yeah, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be real bad.
Yeah,
they're probably they're doing a Netflix or Prime adaptation of The Last of Us, right? Like as a series, I think.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, I thought so. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think Netflix seems like they're doing a lot of game stuff.
Yeah,
I'm getting into that stuff.
I feel like Netflix is like the only thing they have anymore is originals, because they certainly can't curate other people's content. I don't know if they just don't budget for it anymore, because like nothing new comes out there. Not that there's new movies right now, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
Did you see that strange Steam joke sort of thing that Sega pulled off with Golden Axe?
I saw it way too late because I know they were giving away a bunch of actual real games too, which I missed out on. But
me too. But apparently they changed the title screen of this one for this prototype and called it Golden Axed, and released like this one level, like pieced together prototype pitch of a game from like 2008 or something. And then I was kind of reading the aftermath, and like one of the guys who'd worked on it on Twitter was kind of like spilling his guts on how like this was this horrible like crunch condition project, like no resources, no time. And like he was kind of like just appalled that, well, they made a joke of it, like his misery, and then the fact that it just like kind of came out for no reason. And he's like, it's strange to have your name attached to something like that. And I just don't like, do you think why now? Like, that's the only thing I don't understand with Sega is like, why right now do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that they're open to do something like that, but
right.
Yeah. I don't understand why now anyway.
And then to kind of shit on the people's work, even if it was like, because you know how like a pitch prototype like that is, like it's never 100, like it's 20%. It's a concept, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of crappy. Maybe it's because they're like pitching the Golden Axe license with Arcade 1-Up right now, and that's on its way. But even so, it doesn't seem like that would help you sell Golden Axe stuff.
Yeah.
So they were giving away other stuff too.
I think like Sonic 2 and that type of stuff, which is like, oh, whatever. You have it somewhere. Like
$3 for a Humble Bundle a year ago. They had like every Sonic game ever. So. and Sega is the only company that I've ran into on Steam where like most of their games don't just work. Like they just don't launch right or run at all natively. So it's like, well,
so this one fits right in then.
Yeah, you've defeated the purpose of Steam. Like it's this unifying launcher that I don't have to fuck with, but you broke it somehow. Thanks, Sega.
Yeah. I wonder about that. You know, Golden Axe could be a really cool roguelike. You could make a cool roguelike game out of.
Yeah. Or even like if they wanted to just straight up rip something off, do like a Dragon's Crown Light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be as in depth. I don't need Amazon chicks with thighs the size of my torso.
Yeah. They made one for PS3, right? I never played it.
3 or 2, maybe 3. You're right. Yeah, the Beast Riders or whatever, right? I have it. I think I got it for like $0.25. I've never played it because I heard it's an abomination. But yeah, I think it's the biggest problem with Sega right now is they've just continually hoard out their past library and ran most of the value of those iconic characters into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I even saw, like, have you seen what they're doing for holiday season this year with their more current games? So, like, I don't know if it's cross-platform, but I know 100% it's on the Switch, where you're going to get, like, Sonic Mania and All-Star Racing in one cart for $20 or $40. And then there's another one where it's Sonic Forces and what else does Sega have? Something else that they've done. I can't think outside of Sonic, but yeah, it's like, Monkey Ball. Yes.
Yeah, Banana Blitz. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, God, you're already retreading. Like, why are we doing this?
Well, and Sonic Mania has already been done once too, because they made a plus. They made a Mania Plus.
Yep.
So this will be the third release of that.
Yeah. One, and then just like brazenly put $40 on it. Like, no, those should be 30.
Yeah.
For sure. If I was going to go to Steam, I could buy all of those for less than 10 together, probably. You know, it's just, I don't know. Sega just has no, I don't know if they're just that desperate for revenue, but like they really just do not care about maintaining the value of their IPs.
You know, I wonder if that's why, like, the, Nintendo Switch Online library is just like, we just got Super Mario All-Stars, and it's like, why wasn't that day one? And it's just, I wonder if it's something like that, where they just don't want to give it away or put it out there and devalue it as much as like Sega does. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, between Sega and SNK, I don't know who's worse.
Yeah, that's true.
They both just don't care. I mean, even that new Samurai Showdown collection launched for free on Epic for like the first launch day for the first week. Like, we're just going to give it to you. So, I don't know. It doesn't make those games not classics, but it does not make me yearn for modern day renditions. I mean, and that's the problem with SNK, less so, I guess, in some cases for like the fighting franchises, but even Metal Slug. But like Sega has been so bad about technology. Like, they just do not have the ability to like program in 3D well for anything. So like, I have no faith in them to like bring any of those things to a good, positive modern day incarnation. And I'm a Sonic Forces defender. Like, most people hate that game, and I was like, no, that's a pretty fucking good game. But even I can't imagine what some of those other games would look like. Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. Well, I guess they did that. Well, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why that turned out good.
Well, they technically didn't do Sonic Mania either. I mean,
that's true.
It's a different.
Very true. Yeah.
So that's probably smart instead of keep doing the same shit that they were doing. But
yeah, I wish Nintendo would just buy them, to be honest.
Do you think it would happen? Do you think somebody at Sega with the power to do it, I think, would just be like, nope, not doing it, no matter what?
I think they'll get to a point in the very near future where someone will have to do it.
Yeah.
And the reason, but the thing is the reason you would do it is because they've acquired Atlas, right? Like, you wouldn't care about Sega stuff.
Yeah. I was just going to ask
I'm going to get Atlas.
Like, I think Atlas probably puts out more games than Sega does right now.
Yeah. Atlas makes more money, hands down, I bet. Well, maybe not on like Sonic licensing, but game-wise, revenue stream, hell yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they've sold those Persona 5 like 15 ways from Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And people still buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that was Nintendo exclusive, like all the Atlas stuff, plus they could maybe dust off and revitalize a few Sega classics and keep some of that dev staff in-house, like almost run them as like a HAL, but they'd be, first party, but not really. It could work.
Yeah.
We could use another Kirby in the roster. We'll just call him Sonic.
Ooh, yeah. A Nintendo made Sonic game. That would be interesting.
Yeah. It can't be worse, right?
Probably not.
I bet Miyamoto understands what makes a better Sonic game than Sega does at this point. I'm just guessing.
Probably. But that's probably more
worst case,
they're...
you throw them in the Olympics and it's all good, you know? You know, we got to figure it out.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I wonder. Sega's in a weird place, I think.
Yeah, it's been hard. Like, as a person who maybe wasn't, like, Sega wasn't, like, my first choice, but, like, ever since watching them pull out of the market, like, with hardware and after the Dreamcast, it's... there was those 2 to 3 really good years where it was, like, all on deck GameCube and Xbox support and some of that, you know, they did the lazy ports over the PS2, which I think was the right call because like the fever pitched communities were with GameCube and Xbox, and like they put out a lot of good stuff. They tried a lot of good things. Not all of it landed, but most of it was kind of exciting, and it was like, yeah, okay, Sega's gonna be fine. And then you got to the next gen, you're like, oh, Sega is fucked. Like 2000 Sega 06 is bad.
Yeah.
Like, why is he a werewolf now? I don't understand. I understand we all wanted a Night sequel, but maybe we didn't. You know, it was just like, it just got worse. So much worse.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. There's not a lot of ways, I don't think, that you can turn those old games into anything that you want. Even like, you know, they just did Space Channel 5, and it's like, I don't get it.
God, like, you just reminded me that I ordered the VR version of that.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? It was so much money. It's going to be bad. Oh, shit.
I don't think that's even Sega related at all. Like, they were like, hey, we're making this. Is that okay? And they're like, sure, whatever. We don't give a shit about Space Channel 5.
Just take Michael Jackson out. Yeah. We'll be fine. Oh, man. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that Wii era just killed them. All those games that they put out on the Wii were bad.
Yeah.
I was so, like, I still don't even mind Samba de Amigo for the Wii because it's easy to play, but that's a bad game. That Sonic and the Secret Rings was, like, one of the handful of games that I've returned same day after buying it and was like, I don't care if you're giving me half of what I paid for this GameStop. Like, I'm just done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just... Ugh.
Yeah,
and
those
that Knights.
Yeah, those were all really bad.
Yeah, not to mention what they're putting on other platforms. Although, wasn't it Sonic Heroes was not completely atrocious? That would have been just before the nightmares that were on the Wii.
Yeah, that was not bad.
Did they get a 360 release, or was it just
PS2,
PS2
and Xbox?
And Xbox. Yeah.
Toward the end, you know, the Colors and Generations, those were both pretty okay.
Yeah, I've heard Colors is good. I've been meaning to play it. I have it.
Yeah, but that's
shrink wrapped.
That's kind of like almost like a Mario game with different powers, like suits.
Okay.
And Generations is really good. But.
Oh. Well, I haven't found Sonic Colors, but I found Sonic and Secret Rings that was just bad mouthing. So I own that again. That's great. I think I bought that on a garage sale. I swear I had Colors.
Yeah, Colors, try it out. It's okay. But I think that's Wii only.
I found it. Yes, it is. Ah, and I was right. Factory sealed.
Oh, nice.
Factory sealed. This was a Target clearance, I'm pretty sure. 2006. No. Yeah? Guess. It seems really early, but...
That sounds about right.
Oh, also you can play as your Mii.
Oh,
that's
perfect.
Worth it right there.
Yeah, just get Sonic out of there.
Yep. Supports the GameCube controller. Important.
Yep.
Oh, man. I've curated my Wii collection several times, but I still somehow hadn't purged Sonic and the Secret Rings. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I just bought that Just Dance one
the
last few weeks. So.
The newest one, 2020?
I think they said that was going to be the last one on the Wii, so...
They said the last one, yeah.
So that'll probably be the last game.
That is bonkers. You think about how many years. That's like SNK AES support level.
Yeah.
Of like number of years.
Well, and they skipped they didn't make a Wii U one, but they made a Wii. So like, when has that ever happened where the generation
but they did that
before,
knowing that you could play it on your Wii U though, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why print
True.
two things? Because clearly nobody's going to buy that. Actually, people probably would have like scooped up the Wii U version this year.
Yeah, I would have.
I'm just going to take a look. Yeah. The Wii release date? No, that's not right. It says 2012. That's not right. Wii U. Oh, why are you giving me Wii U?
Yeah, Wii was
2006.
Okay.
2006. North America, November of 06. Yeah, that's crazy. 14 years. Holy shit.
PS2 got close to that, I think, too. Because they were 2001 too, and then I think there's like an NCAA 2014 on there. 13? I don't know. Okay. I don't remember.
PS2 always just blew my mind that like even 2 years ago I could walk into a Walmart and buy the GTA trilogy for PS2 brand new. Like, I was like, why? Who's doing this?
Yeah, those kind of just disappeared overnight. I wonder what happened to those because you could buy those everywhere.
I suppose they just stopped printing them and suckers kept picking them up. That's why I had a buddy who had like rebought a PlayStation 2. He's like, well, where can I get the GTA games cheap? Like, just go to Walmart, man. Like, why are you going to like, I think he went to Electronic Underground, probably paid out the ass for him. Like, no, you're dumb. Like, just get a new copy.
Yep.
People.
Yep.
Well. Speaking of new copies, Analog's got a new thing. And I'm very excited about it. They are going to release a new analog console. If you're not familiar with Analog, they make FPGA, high-end boutique versions, typically of retro hardware, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, handheld, they've got the Pocket, but now they're going to do, or at least they've announced for 2021, the Analog Duo, which is supposed to replicate the TurboGrafx Duo. So it'll play Hue cards, either region, and CD games, either region, along with Super Graphics games, which is crazy.
Mm.
And the absurd thing to me is that they're only asking $200 for this. Because when you think of the price point of what these other ones have started at.
2 TurboGrafx games.
Right. And like to get a recapped, region-free, good condition, like gone through Duo would probably cost you with shipping. I mean, I would say $500 is probably about what you'd be at. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little cheaper. So like they're just coming in so cheap.
Yeah, especially when you figure in the CD side, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is like I'd be worried normally with any of their releases because they're always difficult to get, but like they've come out and said like, no, this is straight limited. So I think it's gonna be very hard to get one, especially if the Analog Pocket is any indication.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the other thing is they're releasing an adapter for the Pocket. If you have it, it's $30. You basically got an attachment, your portable.
You got an Express.
Yeah, you've got an Express, which is amazing. And I loved the screenshot for the Express showing Ninja Spirit, which is like, yep, if I had an Express, this game would be playing in my car. Ninja Spirit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't believe the news. Like when I sent it to you guys, I was like, this can't be right. Is this true? Is this real? And I kept looking at their site. I was like, I mean, unless somebody really went to some great lengths to like spoof this, I guess this is right and it's $200, but
I'm just surprised that they decided to go that route. Like I feel like the mini that they, Konami's like, we got this thing, we might as well make money on it. Where this just seems like, oh, this is a good business endeavor, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the design of it's nice. Like it's a nice looking design. It's close to what the Duo look like. Kind of sort of. I mean, it looks like it must just suck in the CD instead of having a flip top, which I guess that's what things do these days. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I hope that this initial run, it's going to sell out. There's no question, but like, I hope that they'll do subsequent runs after this. I mean, I know they were pretty good with the Genesis and the Super Nintendo versions where they did a few runs. So I'm hoping this isn't like a one and done sort of thing, because I really need to get one of these badly. Because my biggest fear, because I love the TurboGrafx, is just that mine's going to crap out someday. Which is why I had a spare, and then I let Nate have it. But I mean, I know where he lives, so I can always steal it back. As long as he doesn't listen to this recording.
I wonder if they just throw the Sega CD in there too. Might as well. Because like, I don't think they'd ever do a Mega Drive with CD.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Or do they do a Saturn that also does CD?
Yeah, could be.
And Dreamcast.
Yeah, I guess we're getting to that point, right? Somebody's has to pull the trigger. I mean, Polymega kind of has started the Saturn stuff, but
they've kind of shit the bed too.
Yeah,
so I mean, they're way overpriced. They're not doing FPGA, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Mean, when's the 64 coming out? Like, how has nobody done that yet?
Well, I thought Hyperkin was working on that because the 10-year like hardware proprietary stuff, the patent had all gone up. So I don't know if it's just that the N64 is such a beast to try and emulate that Hyperkin can't pull it off. So
yeah, I don't
know. Analog's got to be working on a core for that though, right? I bet somebody's working on that for them. That'd be huge right now.
I mean, it works in Mister pretty decent in RetroArch, I think. So I don't know. Somebody be able to do that. Maybe not FPGA, but who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Now's the time to do it too, because like Fever Pitch for 64 is at an all-time high.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the Super Nintendo and the NES like Chibi-Obos and all that stuff for 15 years now?
Yeah.
Then it just stopped there. 64 never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it is an abomination of a console. I mean, but still, there are people that like it. So
just put the 4 controller ports out in there, and you say all the controllers that you can sell. Yeah,
that's true. So on this Duo, like, are you in on it? Like, does this you've not bought one so far, right? But I mean, is this one you would jump on?
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I would say yes, but there's a lot of things now where you can just load an SD card and play the CD games,
Right. Well, now with the Mini out there, I haven't paid enough attention to a hack for it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, clearly it's got the emulation for the CD games, so I'm sure it exists, and I'm just unaware of it. But like, if it doesn't exist, it will exist. So, but I think like finding the ROMs for that, like I mean, I suppose there's a torrent out there or a site, but like I've never really looked for ROMs like a collection.
Yeah.
At least for the CD games. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many of them I'd actually like to play anyway. Like I like Ys, but
Wise.
Yeah, Wise.
Sorry, I had to fill in for Nate since he's not here.
But like, why go back to that too? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I haven't even played 8 yet, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the thing with me is like this hit like the perfect time for me because I've really been considering like getting rid of some of the fluff in my collection and just focusing on things I love. And like for a long time now, I've been like, yeah, I should just pull the trigger, get a Duo, buy one that somebody's gone through, done the region mod, recapped, and just like that's my showpiece. And I've been right there for quite a while. And then have this come out and then be like, what's brand new? Should be relatively trouble-free, and it's half the price of what I was looking at. It's like, okay, yeah, I need this.
Yeah.
So. Plus, I like the idea that it has Super Graphics games, because I've got the Super Graphics ROMs already on my... Oh, no. I just realized that in looking at the design of that, I don't think the HuCard slot would allow for
the EverDrive.
The EverDrive.
Oh,
fuck! Shit, I need to look. That would be a bummer.
Yeah, because it goes almost all the way in, doesn't it?
Right. It looks like it goes all the way in, and the EverDrive is like, Well, okay, hold on. They must have to accommodate for some wiggle room, because if you think of like some of those bigger releases on the Japanese side, like a Street Fighter Hue card is like a double decker. Like it's twice as thick because they packed more RAM and stuff in there. So maybe it's okay. Boy, I hope so. I gotta look at that again. That would suck.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Huh. Either way, I still want one, but
yeah,
it'd be a bummer if I couldn't use my EverDrive, because I tend to just keep that in there instead of like, pulling games off the shelf, because all that, and I only have, 30-ish, 40 cards, whereas my EverDrive has all my wonderful Japanese games like Toilet Kids and all that good stuff. Strip Fighter 2, those are the classics that you just gravitate towards. So. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I've been on the fence about getting some of their other products, but being I was kind of already in the market for a more expensive option with the TurboGrafx, I think I'm gonna get one of these. Hopefully, knock on wood, if I can get one.
Yeah, I wonder if the Duo market settles down a little bit too after the actual Duo. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, there's still a pretty good selection of like PC Engine disc-based games that you can import for relatively cheap. Obviously, the US stuff is always going to be crazy, but there's still some cheap options, I think, with the CD thing. I'm trying to remember the last time I've seen like a CD in person. Probably the last convention we were at. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I've never come across one in a game store.
No, I don't think so.
Locally, I've never come across one in the wild.
Oh, I have seen them in stores, but
actually, well, that's actually, no, I was gonna say is like maybe that store we saw in St. Cloud had a couple CDs.
Yeah,
but not here, not in our neck of the woods.
No,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, after kind of redoing my whole setup and having all the consoles hooked up to, one or two TVs and run it through all these different boxes and shit like that, I'm just kind of like, the Retron 5 model seems a lot more interesting to me, just
it's a
the
lot
more
easier.
consoles.
Yeah, it's definitely a convenience piece for sure. So. And joining us, as always, is Nate.
What's going on, guys?
You recording?
I am.
You made it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We waited for half an hour and we're like, screw this guy. He doesn't talk.
I know. Feel terrible.
That's fine.
It gives the listeners something to listen to anticipation-wise, because every time I'm always like, he might join, but he never does. But this time he did.
Oh, you just wait.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up about pretty much all of our topics. We should go back into, we can hit your stuff here, Nate, but like, Andy, you had mentioned Crystal Caves HD. What is, not familiar.
Oh, yeah. So Crystal Caves was like an old DOS game.
Okay.
That was like, kind of like, it was made by the same people that did the old Duke Nukems and Secret Agents and like all those shareware things. And that's how I played it. Anyway, somebody was doing an HD version of this, of Crystal Caves, and we were watching a YouTube video about it, and my wife just got super excited because she's like, oh, I used to play that game, had no idea what it was called or whatever. So she's been super obsessed with that. We got the HD version, and she's every single night playing it an hour or two, trying to get through it. And yeah, what a crazy thing to kind of like HDify. It doesn't seem like it's that much work. Like they didn't put a ton of work into it, but it's kind of cool.
Still cool. What are you playing it on? Is it PC or is it console?
Yeah, it's just PC. Yeah.
You using like Steam Link, or is she actually playing it on computer?
Yeah, just a computer with the arrow keys and jump even. Nice. So it's a pretty good game. I've only played the shareware, the first, set of levels. So getting into like the second and third one, and I think there's even like a new set that they made just for this, but they get pretty cruel.
Yeah.
But what doesn't, I guess.
I can imagine like all those games of that era were kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that though, because like that's a lot of my memories. Is like my neighbors across the street when I was like 5 had like I don't know what kind of PC, but like I played so many like mind blowing, at least for me at the time, games on PC that outside of the Ghostbusters part that I played, I've never been able to discover what those games were. I don't remember title screens. I vaguely remember gameplay. So like that's awesome when you can see like a remaster of a trailer or something and it's just like, oh shit, I played that. Like that's great.
Yeah. I mean, if you look this up, there's probably a good chance that you've seen this and played it too. It's just,
I'll do that right now.
There's so many of those, and like Commander Keen style games too. Played a lot of those.
Apparently there's a place actually called Crystal Caves, so
ooh, yeah.
That is not what I'm looking up.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I recognize that cover art for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think any of those computer games, I would never remember any cover art because, boxes or even just, floppy disks. They were just blank discs that we were using.
100%.
So I never even knew what any of these games were. I was just going off of a handwritten title 9 out of 10 times.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool though. Nate, let's just dive in. You take us through your list of topics here. We're at this is the Nate segment of the podcast. You just kick this thing off.
At the end, this is rare because I never really talk
last.
at the end. I normally have to talk at the beginning, and then I have 60 minutes of being quiet. So this is my opportunity.
This is your time to shine.
Weird.
I know, it's normally nap time for Nate.
So I have something to confess to you guys. This is kind of a big deal for me. I am now a Jurassic Park aficionado. And the reason I say this is yesterday I had a box show up to my doorstep, really large box. And it was just kind of sitting out in the snow, kind of getting soggy. And just on the label, it had my address, no name, and my phone number. So I was like, well, this is a box. We did not order anything. We're having a baby any day, so things randomly are showing up. And I open up this box, and they are giant T-Rexes from Jurassic Park. So T-Rex toys in the packaging. And there's like 10 of them, and they are huge. And I was like, well, these are definitely not mine. These are probably worth some money. They're definitely brand new.
Sure.
As far as, I guess Jurassic Park is a thing now, or maybe it never went away. So I was like, well, this isn't mine. And, just the internal person that I am is we got to find the original owner, figure out where these came from. Their return address wasn't really making any sense. There was a phone number in the top left, and so we call it, and it says, yeah, this is Fargo Fleet Farm. Can I help you? And so the plot is thickening and thickening. And so we explain the situation. The lady's like, oh, we got a problem. That order was not supposed to go to you. It's supposed to go to Massachusetts, and I don't know what happened. And she's like, so I got good news, bad news. The good news is we'll send a FedEx guy to come pick up the T-Rexes. The bad news is this guy ordered 100 more, and they're coming to your house. So I have T-Rexes showing up every single day. Boxes and boxes of T-Rexes showing up, because you can only fit like 10 in a box, maybe 8 to 10 in a box. And that's really stuffing them full without any liners or anything like that. So we don't know if this guy is a collector or if he has a store. Maybe he has a thing for T-Rexes. I have no idea. But the Douglas household, so this FedEx guy has to show up every single day and pick up a box that they deliver. So someone delivers this box.
Is FedEx delivering it?
I don't know. I'm not catching who's
because I'm like
it.
because like it seems like you could cut off you, like you don't need to be the middleman. And all
so
this.
Someone is dropping them off, and FedEx is picking them up, and they're using my house as this drop zone.
Wow.
So this lady, you could just hear it in her voice when she's like, "Good news, bad news," and you're thinking, "I got to go to Fleet Farm." And I have to like bring the box to you.
Dude, they should send you a gift card at the end of all this for sure.
FedEx is coming to get it, but there's 100 more on their way.
So do you just leave these on your porch, or what's the protocol now?
Yeah, it's just on my porch. So I apparently don't open. I should have taken one. They were huge.
Did you need to get one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes and just sit on the porch and wait for the FedEx guy to show up and hand him the box?
Oh man, I just absolutely love that. That's been the humor around the house is, got a box of T-Rexes showing up here.
The beauty in all this is like, you'd think if a person places like 100-piece order on something that's that expensive, the one thing you wouldn't fuck up is who it goes to, but they completely screw that up on all of them.
It must be in their system. And I did purchase something from Fleet Farm, not too long ago. And so there was a part of me that, what did I click?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going through my history and I went, no, there's no T-Rexes. So something happened in their system that put my address on this guy's order.
Oh.
And it's a mess. It's so funny because the FedEx guy is like, why am I picking up this box? And then it's like, Groundhog's Day for this guy every single day. I'm pretty sure I've been here already. I'm pretty sure I picked up a box that looks just like this one.
Well, yeah, because it's not like you have a return label or anything. So he's like picking it up, and it seems like it legit should belong there.
Right, yeah. So it's mass confusion.
I like it.
But now I feel like I need to find this guy and just be like, why do you like T-Rex so much? Jurassic Parks, are they valuable? Are they not?
Yeah,
did they confirm if it's like the same name or something?
What's that?
Did they tell you if by chance he's just got the same name as you or something?
No, it does not have the same name at all.
Okay.
At all. So
yeah, you got a Facebook friend this guy for sure.
So it's supposed to go to mass somewhere. And,
which Fleet Farm doesn't exist out there, so he's...
Yeah. So he's must be buying and reselling or something, but they're massive T-Rexes. I'm sure they cost, maybe $40-$50 a pop.
Jeez. I'm just envisioning a Trump rally somewhere where this guy sets it up and just populates it all with T-Rexes on chairs. And like Trump walks out, it's just like all these T-Rexes. I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah. So I know it's not quite video game related, but I was like, man, amazing. I gotta share this story that I got 100 T-Rexes. Someone's army building these things, and I'm getting them all.
You've kind of screwed yourself right now because every time I see a T-Rex toy or merchandise on clearance, like it's going to your door. Like you're screwed.
I think what was even funnier for me was my wife opened the box, and she called me up, and she's like, "So are you taking up like toy collecting? What are you doing? What's going on?" And instantly it's like, oh, this geeky nerdy stuff, that's you.
Yeah.
Why are you getting into toys?
I mean, to be fair,
into video games.
Yeah, that's a logical jump for her. So
right. So then of course I'm flipping through like Amazon, be like, are these things valuable? Should I add one to my shelf and start a collection? I don't know what to do here, but we did the right thing. We sent them back. But it's just, I should take a picture and then put it in the box and say the T-Rex journey continues. Enjoy these. So yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah. I think what's even crazier, maybe it's not a big deal. I know you guys don't get into that NBA 2K stuff.
What's this?
I don't know, Andy, do you get into that stuff?
Not really.
A little bit? Not really. Justin does. I know Justin gets into the NBA 2K and Maddens and all of those things. So NBA 2K got busted, kind of busted, more like fan slaughtering because they are running ads during the game.
What?
So when you are having menus where You can't even pick your lineup why these ads are going. They're non-skippable ads. They're ads during the game, just like a commercial for a TV show, which is absolutely pathetic, especially when you're paying $70 every year for this. You shouldn't have to watch ads. Now, there's a time and place for ads, I guess. It goes all the way back to the NES. You know, even playing Turtles and seeing a Pizza Hut sign, or you know, they're eating the Pizza Hut stuff, and you see it throughout different games. And NBA 2K, I think, has quite a few of those advertisements, shoes, you know, Reebok, all of those things, but it's kind of natural.
But they're like in like the bleachers and like on, you know,
right. Yeah,
like...
absolutely. Not, so the ad was Oculus Quest, commercial.
That's a strange choice.
Also a very strange choice, but it's a non-skippable thing. NBA came back after tweets and saying this was a mess up. It wasn't supposed to happen. But then you continue to read it and they're like, oh, we changed it for the player experience. We understand that that's not for everyone. And I was like, that's not for anyone.
Well, no, that should be like,
oh, I sure hope there's a Oculus Quest ad in this game.
I can see that though. Like I would sign on board for that for like the $30 tier. It's like, sure, I'm buying the game for $30. You're going to give me some ads I can't skip. Fine. But like, you don't put that in like your premium version of that. That's bullshit.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's going to get pushed back, and that's not the first time NBA 2K has ever got pushback on stuff, but it just kind of makes you think, you know, advertisement in games, is there a place for it? Is there not a place for it? I know it's a money thing. You know, obviously it's going to help develop that and pay for the game and all of that stuff. But man, when you spend that kind of money, in my mind, regardless, this isn't some mobile game where you get an ad or you have to wait to watch something to play it. So I just think it's just going down a rabbit hole where it's going to continue and more ads here, more ads there popping up. You know, times are changing.
I think it just points to like the ultimate solution here is like, just join the Andy and Ryan club and just don't play those games. Then it's no ads. No upfront cost.
I don't really play them either. Actually, I don't play them, but it's just kind of interesting that that's where that genre, where that stuff is kind of going, and there's no way around it. And just their mindset. Who in their right mind says, "Oh, this is a good idea. It won't bug anybody. Just throw that ad right in, and not just watch the ad, but you can't do anything else. No lineup changes, no nothing."
They knew there'd be backlash. Ridiculous. They knew 100%. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's a terrible idea for Oculus too, to be like, yeah, let's spend money and put our ad in a spot that people are going to hate that it's there. You know, like you're going to it's just an ad that's going to be resented.
So then does Oculus, who is that owned by? Do we need?
It's Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. So do they say, hey, we paid money for this advertisement and now you're making it a skippable thing? Do we get a refund, a discount? Like now do they get to go back and say this isn't what the plan was?
Yeah.
Good question. Zuckerberg's just laying on his bed rolling in money right now. So he doesn't care.
I mean, he's not even aware of this situation. Yeah. I'm sure he's wiping his butt with hundreds. So
what's the NBA 2K? Is that the thing I bought a few years ago?
was there a something? Yeah. It's absolutely crazy.
But that game is already like sleazy, full of loot boxes and microtransactions already. So it's
100%
crazy that they put this on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Kind of funny stupid how they thought they would get away with that way, but
is it going to carry over to other games someday where you got mid jump or mid boss fight, ad pops up.
Maybe with streaming services, who knows? I've always been like a big proponent of like when it's not gross. Like I've always thought like since we've gotten into the 3D age, like well placed real world ads can build atmosphere instead of detract from a game. But that's not an example of that. So I don't know.
Like I think EA back in the day, like Need for Speed used to have like dynamic billboards.
Yeah.
So like they would sell the space and it would change as you played.
Yeah, which I think is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
It makes sense in something like that. It doesn't make sense to like shut your game down and like make you watch a Quest ad. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. They just have to get to self-serve ads so we can rental ads in games too.
Let's call 2K, guys. Let's see how much.
I wonder how much that costs.
Too much.
Yeah. So with ads, I mean, just kind of going back nostalgia-wise, can you guys think of some of those? Like, how far can you go back and be like, okay, yeah, I remember seeing this ad in a video game or this kind of sponsor? It'd be interesting to see how far or when was the first one.
I mean, obviously TMNT, like you pointed out, like Yonoid was a gross mascot, but like the one that always stands out in my mind is that first Jet Moto on PlayStation, and this kind of leans into my point of like semi-realism. Like I thought it was cool at the time. It's like you had your 4 teams. It was Valvoline, Mountain Dew, Butterfinger, and Pepsi. Am I remembering those right?
Yeah, but you always pick the Mountain Dew guy.
Oh, well, the chick, because she had huge cans. Yeah. Of course, I'm going with the blonde with the big tits, like plus Mountain Dew. Obviously, I was a big fan at like 14.
Is that what you mean by cans? The Mountain Dew?
Yes. Yes. She had large, oversized cans of Mountain Dew.
Wow, look at those cans. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that was like just kind of when I think back on it now, like gross product placement. But like they were also doing it in like a this is the NASCAR of the future sort of way, so it didn't seem that weird. I mean, it's bad. Don't get me wrong.
It's like half the textures in the game.
Right. And just Butterfinger's the best one. It's like, who is asking for this? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, what's
that one jumps out?
The one that always gets me weird is the Inzul. What are the candies?
That puzzle game?
No.
Oh, yeah, the Chupa thingies. Yeah,
yeah, the lollipops. Like, why are they in there? That's just really weird.
Yeah, they're the collectibles and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Mick and Mac? Was that McDonald's? That was a McDonald's. Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember that Mick and Mac Global.
That's less in your face, though. Surprisingly,
right? MC Kids,
less in your face, but yeah, definitely for sure.
Still, I mean,
the hardcore
know what it is,
dude. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. That is a great platforming game that nobody gives a crap about.
Which one?
MC Kids.
Oh, I like it.
It's like a poor man's like Mario 3. Like that game is crazy fun. And gets ridiculously hard, but yeah.
I wish it came in Happy Meals as a kid. Can you imagine reaching in and pulling out like an NES game and be like, oh my gosh.
You sound like you're doing that Chris Farley like Dolores, like,
oh my gosh.
It's good stuff. I like it. Yeah. I feel like I started noticing it more in the 3D world. Like it was clearly there when we were kids, like the retro. Even like I can think of some Genesis and Super Nintendo times, but for sure once we got into like polygons, it was like everybody was trying to get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think going back to NES, Sega, all of that stuff, I mean, I don't even think I thought of it as a kid. You know, MC Kids or Yonoid. I mean, I knew who the character was, but I never even like, oh yeah, Domino's. It's just
there's a Chester Cheeto game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yep. Is this game fun or not? And that's all that I wouldn't care about. So now you can kind of look back and be like, it was a little cheesy, or they were definitely trying to sell something. You know, I don't know why, you know, playing MC Kids, we bought so many fries, but you know, that was kind of a regular meal.
Was that a game you were aware about as a kid, or did you only find out about that as a collector?
No,
I don't recall knowing it existed.
So I played it as a kid, and I can't remember. There was a family friend that had it, and that's how I knew about it. But I think as a kid, I don't remember if it was fun or not. I think I found that much later that this was actually a pretty decent game on the system. So speaking of games on the systems, we're creeping to Halloween, and I'm not sure what you guys covered and didn't cover, but Halloween is just 10 days away. And when this gets released, it's probably right in there.
30th, 31st, yep.
Yeah, close to that pocket. And so wanted to close a little bit and talk about, and we've done this in the past, but maybe it's changed a little bit, scariest games you've ever played. And I know I'm not a horror genre.
I'm not a horror either.
I always feel weird saying that word. Horror.
It comes bad across the podcast.
It really does. I know where you guys are going to take it. But I always feel that...
Pun intended?
Right. Yeah, I know. I don't play that kind of genre of game, but, there's always games that are terrifying or frightening, whether that's Last of Us 2 or 1 or whatever. So I just figured we'd take a little bit of time and talk about those games that made us pee our pants a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before. And I was on the Vestlord stream a couple times this week. Geekade, he's one of the founders of that site, and he's been playing horror games for all of October. And I just kind of said, like, the original Resident Evil, like that original Resident Evil, as broken and janky as it was, like nothing had been done to that extent in horror in video games at that point. And like the ambiance they built up with the loading screen of the doors going into pitch black, like, yeah, it was a loading screen, but it was genius. And that game scared the shit out of me. Like, I was early teens. I would only play it at night in the dark and door closed, volume cranked, and I don't know how many jump scares I got out of that. Like dozens
and
of
yet
jump
you
scares.
kept on playing it. Like,
I did.
Okay. That just doesn't make sense to me. Is why play something that's going to freak you out?
And like, I'm one of those people too, that when I play a game like that with limited resources, like if I feel like I went through a scenario and I effed it up, like I'm just going to go back to my previous save. So I waste less resources. So like, yeah, I just countless times threw myself into like zombies and dogs and monsters. And yeah, the game was great. It just left a lasting impression.
Yeah.
Easily the most freaked out I've been at a game.
Yeah. Definitely the jump scares for sure would get you in that game. But like you said, the resources and I think the controls too added to the actual like horror element of it.
Yeah, the game hated you.
Yeah.
Control wise.
Whereas like Silent Hill series was just screwed up. Like Silent Hill 2 is just messed up. And all those games are just,
Pyramid Head.
Yeah, they were just creepy imagery, sound kind of atmosphere that really messed with you more than I think Resident Evil didn't necessarily have that part. It was just more the jump scares, I guess.
Yeah, Resident Evil led the tone, but like the Silent Hill games really like added like that creep horror factor on top of all of that. Plus, like they played into the limitations so good with that first game, with like, yeah, we can't render this far out, so like we're just gonna have N64 fog 5 feet in front of you for most of this game, and like it worked so well.
Yep.
I just remember those fucking monkeys in that first Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
Oh, those are creepy, man.
I'll go with a recent one. They added VR to Dreams on PS4.
Oh, that's not where I was expecting it to go.
No, so a lot of these they've kind of made VR versions or whatever, and one of the top ones was a recreation of PT in VR. Okay. And I've watched that whole playthrough of PT before, and there's definitely some creepy stuff going on in there, but a lot of it is just kind of like you're kind of you're building yourself up to be scared too. But in VR, I couldn't do it. Like I went through maybe 4 or 5 times. I'm like, this is just, can't do it.
Yeah. I could see that. So like, let me ask you, like, how good has the Dream game gotten? Like, as far as like content creators, are people like really good at this point at like crafting something that looks good in 3D?
I just haven't kept up with it as much. I'm kind of surprised. I thought this would be the game that I just keep popping into.
Yeah.
And, they added the VR and I've only done that maybe once or twice. And then I haven't touched it since. So like maybe that wasn't a good time to put all that resource in. Because half the shit in VR was just broken. Like it just wouldn't work the way.
That sucks.
The way they, people.
Yeah, I thought that would be the big home run for that. Because like, endless VR experiences, bite-sized and whatnot.
Yeah, it's mostly just like turning your head into a camera, and that's pretty much what the game is on a lot of those. And it's like, it's not that, doesn't add that much to it.
That sucks.
I have to say that mine, I know I'm a wimp, guys, because you make fun of me when I'm like, Operation Wolf is a serious game I play, and I remember that, and that really hurts. But I would say that the scariest game that I've experienced was Ryan's House VR, and this isn't that scary, but what is it called?
Until Dawn, Undead Nightmares? No,
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood.
Yeah, Rush of Blood. That one, when I left your house, the whole time when I'm driving home, I'm like, why did he make me play that? Why did I play that? Why would he make me play that? I was in his house and he was like, try this game. And then things are, why would someone do that? And I just remember, I mean, I sound like the biggest wimp, but that thing was terrifying, especially even
scary.
in the VR. You know, that was my first VR experience too. And so I'm like, screw you on that, where you're like, oh, enjoy this roller coaster game, and oh yeah, you got to shoot some things when they pop out.
That's right.
Like,
I forgot how much I downplayed it to get you to try it. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's just
no big
a
deal.
ride. You're good.
And Ryan, I don't know if that time you should have grabbed the camera and been like, I'm just gonna let Nate scream it out and I'm gonna capture it. That one just stuck in my head. That why do people play these games? And then I go even further. Why do people make games like this? And then as I'm driving, why did Ryan make me play this game? And why did I continue to play it? It was so scary.
That is a well-crafted experience. So I finished that game.
Wow.
And I beat the last couple levels in front of my family. They were all on the couch. And they're just laughing hysterically.
What is wrong with
They're
you?
hysterically laughing at me because, like, I'm just like, ah, oh God, yeah, and just like shooting everywhere. And it's great for them.
You? I made my family sit down.
No, I didn't make them. They wanted to watch my misery is basically what it turned into. But yeah, I kind of forgot about that. That game is scary as shit. Especially that second or third level, maybe?
I didn't make it that far. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, but what I was going to say is there's a level where, like, you get into a room and the boss is, like, a chick and she, like, crawls towards the cab. And then you're, like, looking over and she, like, fucking jumps up into your face.
No.
Oh, it's not good.
That is not fun.
Meanwhile, the whole game is just shooting targets. It's
Yeah,
right. That's all you're doing.
It's just amazing use of light and then just target shooting. But man, it's a good
and just that
experience.
anticipation, knowing something's going to happen, because that's the game that you're playing. I think that's just the worst for me.
It has that same effect to me where, like, the panic sets in just like it did in the first BioShock game, where they use lighting really well and they get you into scenarios where, like, boom, lights out. You're like, oh shit. And you hear noises and then boom, lights back on. Something's right in your face.
Yeah.
It is the worst feeling because you know it's coming and you can't do anything about it. But in VR, yeah, I agree that is quite the experience.
Yeah. I don't like it.
You need to get
And
your
it's
VR
not like a
back.
game that you can, you know, some of those VR games and some of the scary games that you play, you can just fix your eyes on something else. Like, okay, VR, I'm just going to look this way and ignore it. But then they're like, oh, you're not looking on that side. I'll just jump on this side for you.
Yeah.
And so there's no safe place to look. And I hate it.
Yeah.
I still hate you for that one.
Sorry. Thought you were a bigger man than that.
No, I'm not a man at all.
You know what game always scares me? And it's probably really unintentional. It's Uncharted. All those games have like
the NES Uncharted?
No.
No.
Like
I was like,
PlayStation.
What?
oh no, that's Uninvited, or I can't remember.
There's an Uncharted like
Uncharted
Koei
Waters,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Waters. I was like, what?
Those Koei games scare the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Too much strategy. I can't take it.
No, the AI in those games just flank you. So like they just get right behind you and then just shoot a shotgun right behind you. And it just makes you jump every single time.
Yeah, I can see that. I get a little bit of that vibe too from Gears of War. Like stuff just sneaks up behind you when you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Shit show.
My son was in my office yesterday, and I have a NES in my office, or the mini. And when he's done with his homework and stuff like that, he'll jump on that and play a little bit. And he picked Nightmare on Elm Street. And, you're thinking, man, as a kid, was I freaked out? And he was just playing this game like it was no big deal. I was like, doesn't this scare you? And he's like, this? Why would this scare me? And he's like, this is like Mario. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe our imaginations were so much crazier back then. But I was like, man, this is Nightmare on Elm Street. This is creepy. Or Friday the 13th. And you go back as an adult and you probably look at it through the lens of your kids now that it really isn't anything. But it's just kind of interesting how that transforms a little bit.
I look at those games now. I'm like, why are all these Wookiees coming out of the ground and attacking me? I don't understand what's happening here.
Right. Oh god.
But you knew what the properties were, and that's what you just assumed.
Right, exactly.
It almost felt taboo being able to play those games because we could never watch these movies, and they weren't on basic cable back then. So it was like, I'm playing something naughty. Yeah. Kids have no context for that kind of stuff.
No.
I was just explaining to my daughter the other day. I don't know how we get on the topic. We're like eating lunch, and we were talking about. And I get on the topic. I was like, back in the day, when your mom and dad were kids, because it was chocolate milk. You want chocolate milk? I was like, you couldn't get a squeeze bottle of Hershey syrup. You had to buy it in a can. Then you had to have a thing to poke a hole in the top of the can. It had a sweet yellow plastic lid. And if you didn't have that, then you had to get like the dry powder. And that's how we made chocolate milk. My daughter's just like, just cannot comprehend like what I'm trying to explain. It's like, yeah, and you couldn't buy plastic bottles of pop. You could get these like weird, taller glass bottles of pop. And then I'm like, I am old.
Does Ovaltine even exist anymore? Probably not.
Oh, there's probably some nostalgia corner where they sell that still, right? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss the cans of Hershey's syrup. I kind of want one. I wish I wish it was still an option. Because people see those like bottle cap openers now, and they're like, "Why is there this pointy end? What am I ever going to use this for?"
Yeah,
Hershey's syrup, motherfuckers. That's what. Well, and beer at some point, but that was well before my time. We had pull tabs by then.
I totally forgot about those cans. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, remember the invention of the Big Mouth pop can? Remember how small the thing? And then they're like, it was Budweiser, wasn't it? That was like, we've got the Big Mouth can, and then like that became like the standard can for all us fat Americans for everything. Yep. It's like, how fast can you shovel beer and soft drinks into your face from a can?
Then they had to make that little like lifted up spot that lets air out while you drink to make it go faster.
Oh gosh, sound like we're from the Stone Ages. There's probably some kid listening who's like 18. He's like, what? Hershey's came in a can?
Look it up, kid.
Look it up. Good stuff. And then I did have one last topic that I wanted to wait until Nate was on here for. Because I was in my car a couple weeks back, probably like right after we recorded our last episode. And Mandatory Metallica came on. And I just wanted to admit in front of you guys and our entire audience that a very early thrash Metallica song came on from an album that I had never heard before, and I didn't change the channel, and I listened to it.
Wow.
And then I think they followed that with Saint Anger.
Oh, man.
But maybe not all of Metallica is the worst.
Oh, man.
Say it slower.
Maybe not all.
And a little bit sexier.
What song was it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'd never heard it. It was like, I can get behind this. I still don't like his vocals, but I was like, the music's good enough. I'm good.
You're just growing up.
I'm growing as a human being.
They have that new live album with the symphony again. They made a second one of those. No?
Okay.
And some of those old songs just sound terrible.
With the symphony?
Yeah. Well, it's more like him singing them now. It's just not.
Yeah. I can see that.
Well, welcome to the Metallica train.
Yes. I mean, I'm not going to go my way. But that wasn't bad.
You will now.
I will. I don't know. Are we at the end? We got We got Nate's topics. We rambled through ours. I mean, are we done, or is it a Halloween
We did the best that
episode?
we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Covered the T-Rexes.
We got the T-Rexes in army.
Well, I'm glad you made it here in time to take us out, because that's kind of your thing.
That's my thing. It's no one else's thing, so thanks for saving it for me. Thanks for saving the end for me. I really appreciate it. Share your horror games with us.
Horror.
Horror. Share your horror games with us. Don't share the other games with us, but send us a list of games that freaked you out as a kid or even as an adult. Were we right? Were we wimps? Let us know at weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. Do we have any emails, guys?
I deleted them all. Sorry, my fault.
We
We'll get 'em next
deleted them
time.
all. We didn't catch them. This time, I promise we will read them on the air, not live, because this isn't a live show.
Pre-recorded. Right?
Make sure you're following us on all of our social media as well: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of those good places. You can find all things Weekend Rental at weekendpodcast.com. And as always, friends, be kind. Rewind.
Bananas.
Zany to the max.
Rawr. T-Rex.